Alright, so today we're going to take a look at Symphony X, okay? Symphony X is another progressive metal band that I used to listen to when I was, a late teenager, and well, actually a teenager, right? All the way into, until I was like 30, until I really got, when I first got saved, and I stopped listening to all this garbage and actually burned the records that I had. But today we're gonna expose them. And I know a lot about this band. It's similar to Dream Theater, and how it is with the idolatry. You always want to meet these people, right? It always goes. You go for shows. You're trying to get an autograph, score that, right? And always trying to score pictures and meet the band and all of that. And fortunately enough, or unfortunately right now, I mean, now it doesn't mean anything anymore to me, but I actually got to meet them and hang out with them after a show in 2007 on their Paradise Lost tour, and pretty much, until like early, I don't know, 3-4 a.m. or something like that on their tour bus. And they seem to be genuinely nice people, and but that goes with the deception, right? They are idols. They're being worshipped by all these people, and they have to appear nice. We really don't know how they are in, their private lives, but I can tell you 100% that these people are Satanists and that they're Freemasons. And so today we will expose that. We will show the devil's part in their success, as I like to say that always. Well, usually I, say it to myself when I see, when I research these bands, but with Symphony X, it was always very, when I became a Christian, it was just very obvious to me, I just never colored them now, in a video, but I felt led to do that, the Lord laid it on my heart to expose some of these bands that I used to be, a huge fan of and used to listen to, because I want other people that, might see this video to be blessed by it, and, if they get convicted, to come to Christ, that they can burn all this garbage and see that this is all satanic, right? And so I believe that all these bands are sold out, and that's what I'm trying to show, that all of these bands have something satanic about them, right? That satanic part in their success. That's why I say that. Why? Because to have any type of mainstream success, you got to be sold out, and that's just the way that it is. And now we're gonna start. I'm gonna start showing you that, by reading some of the lyrics, which are very, very telling, and also taking a look at some of the album symbolism and just some interviews. So without further ado, let's start here with a little background on Symphony X. Symphony here from Wikipedia. Symphony X is an American progressive metal band from Middletown, New Jersey. Founded in '94, the band consists of guitarist Michael Romeo, keyboardist Michael Pinella, drummer Jason Rullo, lead vocalist Russell Allen, and bassist Michael LaPont. They achieved some commercial success with the 2007 album Paradise Lost and the 2011 album Iconoclast, which reached number 76 on Billboard 200. Now, we're going to take a look at some of the album cover, but before that, let's read a little bit here from some of their themes. Let's take a look at Paradise Lost. Band's album Paradise Lost is a concept album loosely inspired by John Milton's epic poem of the same name, and was recorded in Romeo Studio throughout 2006. Okay. Now, why is this important? Well, first of all, because if you realize one thing with this band is that they always have some kind of pagan gods or satanic, themes. All of these metal bands usually have like they're trying to glorify Satan and devils and all that, and we will see that right here in Symphony X. I was blinded by that, in their music, but I was blinded by that because I was not a Christian back then. I didn't know Jesus Christ. I grew up Catholic, and but I did not know the Lord, and so I did not see this as something satanic or something, because I was blinded by it, right? And so let's take a look at some of this some of their music style. It says includes complex timings and odd meters, which is very it's very common in progressive music. while incorporating elements of heavy metal and progressive rock. Their early albums, in particular, contain strong neoclassical elements reminiscent of Yngwie Malmsteen, Randy Rhoads, and others. The band has been categorized as progressive metal, power metal, neoclassical metal. Though the band themselves dislike genre labels, with Romeo stating they can be misleading sometimes. At the core of it all, we're just a metal band. Now, why is this important? Because all of these types, like especially power metal and neoclassical metal, they always have some type of pagan stories with it. They always cover mythology and stuff like that, and that's the same thing that Symphony X is doing. And of course, here it says is often compared to other progressive metal bands such as Dream Theater, Fates Warning, Shadow Gallery. Now, let's take a look at some of these album covers, and we'll go from there. Okay, first of all, here you got the masks, okay, which I think is very occult. I mean, you look at this, and some people have said that this is some kind of, the happy and the sad mask is, I don't know, symbol for bipolar disorder, but you can clearly see that these are demonic masks, right? You can see the red in their eyes, and it looks like they are, possessed and coming alive and all of that, like in that sense, right? Something bad. And I could go into, saying, oh, you know what, this is just theater masks and all of that, which, yes, that's what it symbolizes, but at the core of it all, it's occult, okay? And of course, we could look into the colors as well, in the color codings, with this being, red, white, and black here, which are the satanic colors. You got purple here for royalty, and so on and so forth. But that's not what we're going to do in this video. We're going to just continue taking a look at some of the more obvious ones, just so you get an idea that this is just another band that is, just another satanic sold out band, just like all of them are. It's just another occult garbage. You have the Damnation Game, right? She Is Being Damned. You got the pretty much these masks, which became their symbol, right? And you got the devil right here, right? You can see clearly that this is Lucifer, right? I guess damning her to hell or something like that. It's pretty obvious. And let's see if they actually have anything here about, if it says anything about the artwork. Not really. Alright. But anyway, the Damnation Game, right? Somebody's being damned, right? Get the Divine Wings of Tragedy, which again, you got the red rose, and stuff like that, and you got this Catholic nonsense in the background, which I think is some kind of mural or something. Yeah, pretty satanic. Take a look at this. Let's take a look right here. Let's take a look if I can find anything. If I can find anything on the red rose. Here we go. Spells with roses. The rose is undoubtedly one of the most popular flowers, and since ancient times it has been considered a symbol of love, passion, and lust. Roses are associated with both gods of love, Aphrodite and Eros, so it's no surprise that it's used in all sorts of magical love spells. Okay. Here we go. Bathing with rose water. Wearing it as cologne favors the development of positive qualities such as unconditional love, health, and intuition. Garbage. Rose oil or essence of roses can also be a practical ingredient when working with love rituals, attraction, and love spells. It is usually added to other kinds of spells to enhance their power. Okay. And we have here magical properties of roses. The ancient Roman nobility grew roses in large public gardens. Bride and grooms were adorned with roses, and petals were thrown at the feet of those victorious in battle. Now, what is another thing that I exposed in my Dream Theater CD, video, was the Rosicrucianism, right? Symbolism, right? The rose and the cross, right? Which they had on their CD, Black Clouds and Silver Linings, right? With a rite of passage, right? And he speaks of that rose and cross, right? Well, that's Rosicrucianism right here. Okay, you can see it. So the rose actually has a lot of occult meaning to it. So when we see that here, this witch is holding the rose, okay? Now, let's take a look at some of these. Let me actually see if it says here anything about the cover. Not really, okay. But you can see some of the lyrics here, some of the track listings. Sea of Lies, Out of the Ashes, which we're going to look at some of these lyrics. Pharaoh, The Witching Hour, Divine Wings of Tragedy, which is all about Lucifer. They actually admit it. And we have Twilight and Olympus, okay, which clearly you can see that this has an Egyptian theme to it, a Greek theme. Yeah, it's Olympus. It's a Greek theme to it, right? You get the Masonic pillars right here. Of course, you have the, you got the masks right here on the wall and all this garbage. So you can clearly see that this has Masonic undertones, right? Clearly. It's clear as day. Let's take a look at 5, the New Mythology Suite, which is, you get the duality here, right, with the white and the black, right, the devil and whatever this is. I guess this is good and bad magic, right? Like a good witch and a bad witch or whatnot, like the duality, right, the black and the white. And of course this is in a desert. Now remember, Christ is always in a desert, right? They're always tempted in a desert. Christ was tempted in a desert as well, so that's the theme, right? Now, why is this mirror here? It reminds me very much of that Awake by Dream Theater, but why is this mirror here? Well, let's take a look at some of the mirror symbolism, actually. I mentioned it in a previous video. I actually found a really good explanation from a Masonic website, from the SantaMonicaMasons.com, okay? The Chamber of Reflection. Let's read this. The Chamber of Reflection, dark, mysterious, and full of reminders of mortality, is one of the most overtly esoteric devices used in Freemasonry and at times has been controversial. It is intended to bestow upon a candidate somber feelings and respect to his own mortality and emphasize the profundity of the next steps that he will take. Some lodges give the option to all new candidates for Freemasonry to spend some thoughtful and reflective time in the chamber before initiation. The controversy around the use of the Chamber of Reflection within the 3 degrees of the craft, notice the words that they use, because you will see later at how in some of the interviews there's the exact same words being used. The craft of Masonry stems from its seemingly spooky and morbid symbols of mortality. Additionally, some brethren may feel it is an innovation to adopt this tradition from other areas of Freemasonry, as it was not likely part of the original Preston Webb system of degrees that is widely used throughout the United States. The chamber is thought to have originated in the French and the Scottish rite of Freemasonry. It likely first appeared in France around 1750. Some suggest that the hermetic nature of its symbolism indicates a direct or indirect influence of, you guessed it, Rosicrucianism. We were mentioning it before. Others, including author and occultist Robert Ambelain, even suggest that Rosicrucians deliberately inserted their ideas and symbolism, including the use of the chamber, into our Masonic traditions. Its form and contents have hardly changed since then, with only minor variations across jurisdictions, even with its recent adoption into the American Blue or Craft lodges. Most contain the following symbolism. The mirror, which is the first one, literally a reflection of oneself and traditionally a trigger for meditative state, representing duality and the twilight of the moment that the candidate is in between his life before Freemasonry and the transformation in which he is about to partake. Wow, and you see that exact same thing here. You see in the mirror the duality, right? Now he was before, right? This is who he was before, and this is what he's going to become, right? So they're touching hands right there, right? It's really him in the mirror, okay? A trance-like state, it says, right? Interesting. Let's continue reading this garbage. The hourglass, a memento mori in many traditions. The hourglass overtly represents the finite amount of time that we are given in our earthly life. On a more esoteric level, it can represent the upper and the lower, showing the cycle of life and death and the separation of heaven and earth. The possibility of turning the glass symbolizes our need at times to reverse our attitudes and actions for continuity, or we shall always be drawn to an end of base. The sight is another reminder of our earthly mortality and the thought that a man may be cut down from this existence at any moment. It may also be interpreted as an emblem of universal justice, that as we sow, so shall we reap. Sword. Sword represents base matter or body, rough and impure. It can be seen as representing the earthly self ready to be purified. It is one of the three essential alchemical elements, also known as the tria prima. Sulfur. Sulfur represents the soul and essence above. It's also representative of fire and is sometimes referred to as the Red King in practical alchemy. Sulfur is the second essential alchemical element. Cockerel. The cockerel or rooster symbolizes the alchemical principle of mercury, which creates a fluid connection between the salt below and the sulfur above. It represents the human spirit, which in this case can be differentiated from the soul, and represents a fluidity of spirit between the essence above and the firmament below. When partnered with soul and sulfur, the resulting mixture can be thought to symbolize faith, hope, and charity. Bread and water, two items connected with the simplest method of sustaining life. The simplicity is a reminder of how the candidate should proceed in all his dealings through life. They are also reminded that man does not live by bread alone, but by the word of the living God. So you can see how they mix a little bit of Bible into this. Vitriol is another name for sulfuric acid, which at first glance seems to bring a negative connotation. The acid was used in alchemical experiments as a way to break down or purify other matter. In this case, vitriol is also an acronym for Visita Interior Terra Rectificando in Venis Occultum Lapidem. You see the word occult in there, right? Or visit the interior of the earth and purifying it, you will find a hidden stone. Of course, the word occult means hidden, right? This is another way of saying, look within yourself for the truth. Ye shall not surely die. Ye shall be as gods, right? That's what Satan said to Eve, right? Interesting. He told her the same thing. Look within yourself for truth. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it, says Jeremiah. Both meanings encourage the candidate to break down the ego in himself, to find purity and truth within, and allude to the chemical philosopher's stone. Garbage. Human skull and crust thigh bones. You go skull and bones. The history of the skull and crossbones is murky and worthy of its own discussion. In the case of the chamber, it is a bleak reminder of what we will all eventually become. It represents the alchemical concept of caput mortuum, signifying a useless substance left over from a chemical operation, such as sublimation, and the epitome of decline and decay. Alchemists represented this residue, which is with a stylized human skull, a literal death's head. Should a candidate choose to spend time in a chamber prior to being entered into the fraternity, pen and paper are provided to write out any thoughts that might come to mind. This serves two purposes. First, to help clear the mind of any burden or thought of concern, and also to provide a record of the moment which is returned to the candidate when he reaches a sublime degree of Master Mason. As the symbolism used within the chamber is more deeply understood, it can bring light to the reasons why its recent adoption is becoming more prevalent in our first 3 degrees. This information can help us understand the concerns and controversy while preserving its benefits.
While these concerns do have some validity, the profound and positive effect on a candidate for Freemasonry transcends those criticisms, and finds itself a valuable addition to our lodge and a truly memorable moment before our official ritual begins. Okay, so this is in their own words, okay? This is not a fundamental Baptist, or a fundamental Christian, or, some evangelist exposing this. No, this is them in their own words telling you all of this from a Masonic website. Okay, now let's take a look back at this garbage. So we saw this right here. Let's take a look at some more of the album covers right here. We got the Odyssey, which is about Homer's Odyssey, right? We got some devils here, I believe, right? Kind of shipwreck here, right? You got the two masks. I don't know what this is. Dragons, gargoyles, whatnot. Devils right here flying. Naked, women, all of that garbage. A storm. This is all occult to the core and Masonic. Okay? It says the title track is the album's grand finale, a 24-minute musical interpretation of Homer's Odyssey, an epic poem about the journey of ancient Greek hero, the Odysseus. Okay? Yep. So, let's continue. Let's take a look at Paradise Lost, which again is a fallen angel. This one is very, very, telling. It's a fallen angel right here. It looks, in darkness, right, and it's holding a rose. We read already the red rose symbolism, and you can see that this is a fallen angel. Of course, the painting is some kind of female angel, Catholics, and all of that garbage. Now, we got Iconoclast, which is very interesting. You got the third eye right here, so it tells you exactly what this is. And you can see, just like with Dream Theater, you can see this AI garbage, right? The machine's taken over, right? Very, very clearly. More third eye nonsense. You got the masks kind of merged together in one face, yet it has like two more faces here on the side. It's three, right? This is all demonic. This is, like Shiva, right? Or something like that. It's got more faces. It's all 100% satanic to the core. And of course, something similar with Underworld. It's got these Masonic, right? Some of these symbols. I think one of this is the Kabbalah symbol. There's a cross there as well. We would have to take a look at, at this symbol, at this cover, maybe in a larger resolution, I guess. Let's take a look right here. Maybe we'll find something here. Now, I didn't listen to this CD, to this album. I didn't have the CD. You can clearly see the Kabbalah, whatever, tree of life here, right? It looks like it's all merging these religions. You can clearly see that this is the Kabbalistic tree of life, or whatever you want to call, whatever they call that garbage. Let's just take a look if I can find maybe something better right here. Oh, there we go. Let's take a look. Come on now. Here we go. Clearly you can see the merging. The Kabbalah garbage, right? And all these other all this other nonsense, right? Freemasonry, and there's even some kind of cross here, and you get the duality with the masks, right? And of course, you get your 33 3, 3 here with the rays, right? Of course, all protected in a circle, just like Satanists do. It's always in the circle. They feel protected when they are in the circle, okay? So this is all a bunch of satanic garbage, and it's pretty obvious. And as well, you have here with the underworld symbolism, it's underworld as above, so below, right? And it's also spelled backwards here, just like Aleister Crowley taught to do everything backwards, to spell backwards, to read backwards, all that garbage, okay? So clearly we see that right there. So now we took a look at this trash. Let's read some of the lyrics. And again, this is from, I found this on Genius, where pretty much all of their albums are, you know, on here. And I'm just gonna read a few of these lyrics to you. Let's start with Out of the Ashes, which is blatantly obvious. In the house of my master, beyond the gate, there is a bed of snakes where evil lays. Alright, well, so it's like they're really telling you what this is all about, right? It's all already about Satan, right? Bed of snakes, right? Who's the snake? Who's the old serpent, the devil, right? That appeared to Eve, right in Genesis chapter 3. Oh, I hear laughter. I forge the iron bars that someday will imprison me. Oh, mother, will you help me? Oh, mother, will you help me to find a reason to go on? Out of the ashes of my youth I rise a man, and through the eyes of truth I finally understand the way. Wait, hold on. What is the way? Well, Jesus Christ is the way and the truth and the life. We already know that. But what is his way? It's Hiram Abiff. Okay? The Masonic Christ. The Masonic Christ is Hiram Abiff. Okay? That means the Phoenix rising. And clearly that's what he's talking about. Who rises out of the ashes? The Phoenix. I've been beaten with his words and whipped with his lies. He will not break me down no matter how hard he tries. Pray for my lost soul. So he's telling you that he's lost. He's telling you he's not saved. Pray for my lost soul. Out of control, the storm inside me rages on and on and on. Mother, will you help me? It repeats this garbage. Again, it repeats, out of the ashes of my youth I rise a man. Through the eyes of truth, I finally understand the way. What is the truth? His truth is that false enlightenment, the same thing that we saw in the Black on the Clouds Silver Linings album with Dream Theater, the child being, you know, going through the door and the sunlight is hitting inside, you know, from darkness into the light. The Masonic false enlightenment, his truth is Lucifer. Okay? And again, he repeats the same, you know, in the chorus, at the end of the song. Now, this one, The Divine Wings of Tragedy, is another one of those epics, about 20 minutes long. Here it actually says 2043. And, you know, just not to be hit with a copyright strike, I'm not going to play any of that music, but I don't want to vex you with any of this garbage anyway. So, if you really want to listen to it, if you're just, you know, curious, you know, go ahead, but I'm not going to encourage you to listen to this garbage. It's satanic to the core, and we're reading the lyrics, it's all garbage. So this one is blatantly, they actually say it's about Lucifer. We're going to read that later in one of the other lyrics where it, you know, it mentions this song and says how it is about Lucifer. So it says, on the edge of paradise, tears of woe fall cold as ice. Hear my cry, renounce have you thy name, eternal is my pain. He renounced God, basically, okay? And now he's in eternal suffering, right? Eternal is the pain that leads me to the thrones of temptation. There was a time when 9 choirs sung the endless melody of light, music of the spheres. Okay, 9, right? That number 9. There was a place when mortals embraced thunder and majesty. Their fate lay in our hands. Feel my wings slowly fading, forever lost in time, I cry. The burning conflict I'm feeling, it summons me to descend into the other side. And just beyond the stars blazing, a beam of light from a red velvet moon illuminates me. I will devise from perfect skies a dark and vengeful day. Faith and mercy have gone astray. Why? Because God left him. God is not with him anymore. He's being cast down. Right? With, you know, 1/3 of the angels with him. With strength of infinite measure, the mighty sword divides order from chaos in the kingdom below. Hold on.
Out of chaos comes order, right? That's the Masonic order out of chaos, right? Same with the Hegelian dialectic. It's the same thing. Problem, reaction, solution. Out of order comes chaos. Okay? Chaos out of order. Same as on the dollar bill. And from the mansions of glory, the empty soul cries out one final plea. The end has begun. Our worlds collide. Now in the skies you'll feel the wrath divine. Tears of woe fall from the sky. Well, why is he going to feel the wrath divine? Well, because God is going to damn them, right? The prophets cry. The prophet cries. Vast battalions rage on in the sky, rising from the north, the bringer of war. Eve of destruction, summon all who have power of fire, impending doom from shore to shore. Standing on the edge of paradise, I sacrifice my truth and loyalty. 7 deadly sins consume you all, a dance with death, I taste the victory. Rising from the north, the warrior prince, eternal is the pain that leads me to temptation. Judgment without compassion, eyes of fear like the river Styx. The gates of hell, eternal is the pain that leads me to temptation. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. The prophets cry, an army fall from the edge of the sky. The Prince of Truth, now the bringer of war. The day of wrath, banish all kings from face of the land. Dominion for strength is my name. Bringer of the apocalypse, this is just a part of the song. And then paradise regains as looking out on a blue sky. I can see a new world arising. A new world, right? A new world order, right? Novus ordum seclorum, right? Like a prisoner unbound, I feel the power and the majesty again. Looking up to the heavens, I can see what I've left behind beneath the stars, moon, and warm sun. And all I know is my paradise has begun. Very interesting. Let's take a look and see what this all is about. Let's take a look at Ezekiel chapter 28. Verse 13. You got that 13, that number of rebellion. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering. The sardius, topaz, the diamond, beryl, onyx, jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of thy tabrets and of thy pipes was created in thee, in the day that thou wast created. Thou art the anointed cherub that covered, and I have set thee so. Thou wast upon the holy mountain of God. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. Thou wast perfect in thy ways from the day that thou wast created, till iniquity was found in thee. Okay? By the multitude of thy merchandise they have filled the midst of thee with violence, and thou hast sinned. Therefore I will cast thee as profane out of the mountain of God, and I will destroy thee, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. Very clear that this is about Lucifer. When you have eyes to see and ears to hear, it's not that hard to see. Okay? Let's take a look at the Odyssey. And I'm not meaning, I don't mean the, you can read up on Homer and, the Odysseus if you don't know the whole history with that. I'm not gonna read of this Greek god nonsense. There's another song on the album which is very telling, and it's Accolade chapter 2 or part 2. Actually, I'm sorry, it's not this one. It's not this one. It's actually, I believe, Accolade is on Divine Wings of Tragedy. I mean, part 1. Yep, right here, the Accolade. Why is this one important? Because it's going to expose who they really are. In the morning sun down his chosen road he rides to save the world. Cross of crimson, robe of white. Sworn to the quest for the rest of his life. Play shields and wooden swords, slaying dragons as a knight of Atha's court. Trained to kill, to sing a song, youthful hope to right the wrong. Sons of Antioch, an angel's voice cries out to him, free the holy lands, bring peace to it again. Across the seas, through sands of time, Knight of the Templar, a charging steed through lands unkind, a legend forever. A heart of gold pumps within his metal skin, a noble line he carries on. Braving the bloody din, silver spurs are justly earned by strength within. Squire the knight like prince to king, chalice of life completes the ring. In the morning sun, down his chosen road he rides to save the world. Across the seas, through sands of time, knight of the Templar, a charging steed through lands unkind, a legend forever. Across the seas, through sands of time, knight of the a Templar, a charging steed through lands unkind, a legend forever. To see the light, he spent his life to understand. The sword he once held falls forever from his hands. And it keeps repeating. Why is this important? Well, it speaks of the Knights Templar, right? Which we know were satanic to the core. But wait, there is more, and we could read a lot more lyrics from this, more from this albums, from their albums. But I guess you get the idea. But let's read a few more from Paradise Lost, or maybe just one. Let's see. Let's take a look in. This is a good one. Set the world on fire. I mean, lyrically, right? Because you can see what this is about easily. Godlike perfection, reflecting these eyes, reaching for my place with stars on high. Damn the betrayers who twilight unfold, hell on flame, and I curse you all. There's no turning back, falling deep into the sweep, collapsing black. Fly with me forever high, and with these wings we'll set the world on fire. Fly with me through scorching skies, you and I, the lie of lies. I'm the master of illusion, minister of sin, two-faced snake, wicked shedding skin. What is this? He's telling you he's Satan. He is the devil. I will forsake you, destroy and unmake you with all my might. I will take you down. There's no turning back, falling deep into the sweep, collapsing black. Fly with me forever higher, and with these wings we'll set the world on fire. Fly with me through scorching skies, you and I, the lie of lies. Don't leave me, you need me, only I know the way. No, only Christ knows the way, because he is the way. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me, says John 14:6. Fly with me forever high, and with these wings we'll set the world on fire. Fly with me through scorching skies, you and I, lie of lies. Now, this is blatantly obvious. I just read 3 lyrics to you, and we could really take a video, like make a video series of this band and read all of their lyrics, and pretty much all of them are like this. I'm not just picking out a few songs. If you feel like going to Genius, read the lyrics for yourselves, because I'm not gonna make this like a whole series. I just wanted to show you a few of the lyrics, but after reading 4 or 5 different songs, you can clearly see what this is all about. Now, that's the one that I told you about. This one, it says it's obviously a prequel to the song. Okay, we will read this one, and then we will, I'm gonna read to you what this one is about. Against the wall, they see you, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Heroic mask, the cracks are showing. Faceless God to shape the perfect lie. Wounds of hate have pierced so deep they never die. My revenge is bittersweet. Lost in the night, wandering alone. Try as I might to escape the fight. It never lets me go. I've got to find a way to rise above it all. Savior of the fool, the mystery fades into a cruel shade of night. This broken disguise cannot comprehend what was and will be until the very end. Wounds of hate have pierced so deep they never die. My revenge is bittersweet. Lost in the night, wandering alone. Try as I might to escape the fight. It never lets me go. I've got to find a way to rise above it all. Oh, where the north wind sleeps, that is when we'll meet again. Or where the shadows creep, into twilight I'll descend. Good and evil, it never ends. You're just a means to an end. Lost in the night, wandering alone. Try as I might escape the fight. It never lets me go. I've got to find a way to rise above it all. Lost in the night, and it keeps repeating. Now, why is this important? This song from Paradise Lost, it says here in the background, it gives you background on the song. So it's obviously a prequel to the song "The Divine Wings of Tragedy," which we just read, right? Lucifer falling out of the, out of heaven, right? With 1/3 of the angels. Him being thrown out and all of that. We already read that song from the self-titled album, The Divine Wings of Tragedy, as the ending is a reprise
of one of its epic themes. An interesting note, however, the acoustic ending passage in the song is in E minor, whereas in Divine Wings is in D minor, just a half step difference. While the song can be taken as a prequel to the Divine Wings of Tragedy, which is also about Lucifer, it's more obviously the concluding song on a concept album based on Milton's Paradise Lost. The song before deals with Satan victorious, having successfully tempted Eve and subsequently Adam, and getting them ejected from paradise as he had been. However, Satan finds that this revenge is bittersweet. The chorus reflects his desire to rise above the whole system of good and evil and the revenge cycle. A masterpiece, closer to a masterpiece of an album, a great take on Milton's poem. Okay, so I don't really think I need to read much here anymore. There's another one here on Iconoclast that I would like to read, and it's called Heretic. And it's very similar, right? Human infection, soaring on winds of woe and pestilence, remove imperfection, parasites with lives of little consequence. Even though we know the sky is falling, still we choose not to believe. On your knees, heretic, devil in disguise, never quit tearing down the walls, brick by brick, feeding on the lies. Heretic, counterfeits the kingdom you devise. The flesh breeds corruption, eradicate the insect prey, exterminate, crawl with the leeches, you cry, shatter to pieces, you die. Here I stand, God of man, the perfect beast. God, notice how God is written, small g, an idol, and nothing. The perfect beast, which is Satan. I mean, he's not perfect, but in their, description it is. But yeah, it's a description of Satan, of course. We know that he might be the perfect beast, but God is the perfect God. And there's only one God, and I don't think there's anything perfect about Satan. I'm just, trying to explain what they're saying in the lyrics, right? From their point of view, right? Even though we know the sky's falling, keeps repeating this, still we choose not to believe. On your knees, heretic, devil in disguise, never quit tearing down the walls, brick by brick, feeding on the lies. Heretic, counterfeits the kingdom you devise. Oh, burn, watch me burn, live and learn as the night surrounds me. No escape, nowhere to hide. Feel the sting of severing. Become one with darkness. Become one with darkness, not one with the light. So this is what this teaches you. No escape, I'm dead inside. He's telling you he's still a lost soul. I'm dead inside, I'm dead inside. Heretic, devil in disguise, never quit tearing down the walls, brick by brick, feeding on the lies. Heretic, counterfeit, kingdom you devise. And again, it says here, song criticizes those who bring destruction and chaos to the world without any regard for the consequences of their actions. The lyrics suggest that the human race is plagued by imperfections and infections that cause harm, and those who contribute to this destruction are branded as heretics and devils in disguise.